Hello, welcome back. This is Vincenz, and today is the final part of our Reclaimer mini-series. So we're currently at Orison wearing some light gear, and we're going to switch that up quickly for some medium armor before we head out and do some FPS action.
Vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has...
You are clear to launch.
So we've had the Reclaimer for a little while now. We've upgraded it. We've gone out and done some salvaging in it. You can make quite a bit of money with this ship. Possibly one of the best ways to make money right now in the game. So it is a pretty handy ship to have. Obviously you can do that in the Vulture as well, but this thing, with a team of people, can earn some big money. 6 million plus per run, I would say. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're heading out in the Reclaimer to an abandoned outpost. And this is the main reason I actually bought the ship. It just looks so menacing and epic that when I was flying around and landing on these planets, I just wanted to have something in the background that really made a statement and looked cool, especially on my screenshots. So yeah, we bought the Reclaimer just to mess around basically and head to abandoned outposts and use it just to get around and just to look mean. So here we are, we've stopped at Seraphim, we've grabbed some ammo, a couple of weapons, and now we're shooting over to Daymar. We've jumped into Kudra ore on Daymar. So we're just heading down now to the mine, and from there we will be setting our heading to the abandoned outpost. So here we are now, hovering above Kudra ore. You can see the mine there below us. And we're going to take a bearing of 0.5 degrees. And we're going to fly out for approximately 28 kilometers. Everything's nice and peaceful, and we're just cruising along in the Reclaimer. But as often happens, sometimes when you get near these outposts, there's always some nine-tailed ship bugging around. And sure enough, just as we're coming into the outpost, we get an enemy target who starts blasting us straight away with ballistic weapons and lasers. So we do try and shake this guy off. We sort of flew around a little bit, tried to get out of the area. There you can see the outpost just down on the floor. We went pretty far and he was just following us all the time. So we eventually tried to lift up out of the atmosphere, and he even followed us up into space. So we just couldn't get rid of him at all. And by this time, pounding us with his weapons for about 5 to 10 minutes, he was actually starting to do quite a bit of damage to the ship. So there was only one thing left I could do, that I could think of, being on my own in the ship. Something had to be done because I just couldn't shake this guy off. And you can see there his ballistics were just raining in. So we quickly hop out of the driver's seat and we go looking for the turret in the ship, which we hadn't even used before. So we found a little sign there saying turret access, and up we went and we found the turret. Now we just needed him to come into range. Hopefully this turret would do the job. You can see on the left there our ship has taken quite a beating from his ballistics, and we had sustained some damage. Now these guns, I don't actually know what size they are, but they are powerful whatever size they are, because it did not take long and this guy was just annihilated. Finally we could head down to the outpost. So this is one of my favourite outposts. It's pretty big, it's got 3 little camps, well, 2 smaller camps and 1 big camp in the middle. And there's always loads of chests there, and you can find loads of cool loot there. So I do like coming here, and this is exactly why I wanted the Reclaimer. Just to cruise down and like just be bigger than the Outpost itself. It just looks like an absolute monster when you pull up next to the Outpost in this ship. So we're heading down now. You can see that there's an outpost here on this outcrop, just on the top there with no lights, and then there's another one over the far side with some lights on, and then you've got the main base in the middle. We try and set this thing down nicely in the middle of this little valley, and as you can see, it pretty much takes up the entire valley. It's like Darth Vader is arriving. So as we get closer to the floor, the weather is pretty bad here. It often is, to be honest. But it does change quite a bit. You can go from this kind of fog to sunny weather in the space of a minute. Anyway, so as we lower down, we eventually settle the ship down. Those massive suspension arms doing a good job on the uneven terrain, and the ship just settles down nicely. And this is what I've been waiting to see. Just look at that. That is an epic shot, man. The Reclaimer is a beast. We're just completely overshadowing the outpost. What was cool about this outpost is that you can see the guys are actually patrolling and moving around and searching actively, especially on that left-hand side. The guys on the right don't seem to be moving too much. Another cool thing about this Reclaimer is you can just see over the camp, and they're not even attacking the ship. Normally when I park here in any other ship, they'll start pounding me. But these guys are just like, wow, a monster has just pulled up next to us and we're not even going to try and shoot that thing. And it's no surprise. Anyway, so we just quickly scan over the area. We can see where all the mobs are. So we head down, make sure we've got all our gear ready. Use one of the new cargo crates. We're planning to take this down with us and fill it up. This was the first time I think I'd used one of the cargo crates, but I soon realised that you can't just put a dead body next to it and offload all the gear onto it. You'd have to put it in boxes, pick it up, put it in the box, put it in a box, pick it up, put it... So there was no way I was going to waste all that time. So we ended up going back to the old method of just chucking all the guys on the ship and looting them directly into the ship storage. Anyway, so as you can see now, we get out. The weather is suddenly absolutely beautiful, and we've got clear skies, and it's going to make it a lot easier to take down these targets. So because I've got a rifle here, I take up a position at distance, and I just start picking them off. This rifle's the Gallant. It is pretty cool, very effective from sort of medium to long range. Couple more guys in the distance, which we can just about see. Not sure if he went down or not, but we're going to head in. Switch to the P4. Grab a couple of extra magazines, and then we nick one of their guns that's got a scope on it. Hopefully we can hit them from a bit further away, even though the scope isn't the best. This guy takes a lot of shots to go down, and this P4 is not very effective at long range. It's good at short range, not too bad at medium range. Clear up the rest of the outpost, and in the background you can just see the beast there. Look at it. Absolutely sick. Quite a few more guys there than I thought. There's 3 of them in the end, not 2. Pretty cool to see them reacting and shouting out things while you're in the area. Even though they've been so bad for so long, the mobs, it does give you a little bit of hope that they are fixing things and getting them to work a little bit better on the live servers. So we've got quite a few guys we can loot here, and we do end up finding quite a few loot boxes as well. It's a pretty good run, this. Some loot boxes are hidden behind movable objects. These little ones are mainly full of food and stuff. A couple of green arm pieces there weren't really of interest to me, so we leave them there. But the ship just looks amazing. When you pull up in this thing, it's just so epic. That was a bit of a bigger box there. I was expecting a little bit more from it, but we didn't get any good loot out of it. Here we find our first helmet, which was actually a pretty cool helmet. I really do like that one. It's got like a mohawk, bright yellow. Not really found any gear that matches it, but it's a pretty cool helmet. I'm just making a little structure so I can jump up onto that top walkway, because there can often be a crate at either end of this thing. Here we find another loot box with 2 helmets, which is pretty cool. They're not the best helmets, but we'll take them. If you ever need food or drink, just head down to one of these outposts and you'll get absolutely loads. They're useful if you want to fill up your ship. You can just take loads and loads of consumables and then put them all out in your ship, which is pretty cool. People like to do that. So here I am dumping in the helmets straight into the storage container, which is nice and easy. But obviously, if you're trying to get a chest piece off one of these guys, you can't just stick that in your backpack. So you almost have to do it the old-fashioned way. So here we are down at the next end of this central bit of the outpost, and there were just loads of chests here. There's also a lot of ore that you can pick up. I don't pick them up anymore because I've got like hundreds of them in my bags. And here we go, look, even more helmets. I mean, it was just crazy, this outpost. There was so much loot. Another big chest. It's like big chest after big chest after big chest. I always collect all the multi-tools. I've got a nice collection of different colours, which I quite like. And whenever you die, you lose one, so it's good to have loads of them as backup. Here there was a little cheeky crate in between these two shelves. You don't see that very often. Luckily I noticed it. I like the way the crates are like moving around now. When I used to come to these outposts, they'd always sort of be in the same spot. Look, there's another one hidden right down there. I've never seen one down here. And this one had some pretty cool undersuits. I think I'll leave them there for now. Just in case there's any more helmets, because our backpack's getting quite full, but we can just sneak that little one in there. And even more big chests. I mean, I've never had so many in one outpost. Again, some more cool helmets. I'm pretty full, so it's time to go and empty some stuff. I swap out one of the not so good ones for that really cool gold one. Quickly head back to the ship to empty my bag. It's cool having a crate there. You can just literally empty your backpack over and over again. Looking back, I should have taken that crate with me once I'd killed everyone, and I could have just done all this in the actual outpost. So next time I'll just run over with the crate. I do put a couple back in my bag, which I want to put directly on the ship, because I wasn't fully trusting this crate just yet. It was the first time I'd used it, and I didn't want anything to vanish or anything to happen to the crate and I'd lose those helmets. So I kept those ones in my backpack, and I'll add them to the ship storage when we get back up. I like to collect these green outfits, and I don't have to keep buying outfits all the time. It's not our org outfit, but it's one I wear when I'm around in the verse, or if I'm doing bounty hunter missions and I get shot quite a lot of times. It doesn't bother me when I just lose one of these outfits. I also think it looks pretty cool. The green, the pink works well. Right, so in the elevator I couldn't actually load them onto my ship storage, so I had to actually take them into a bay for it to recognise, and then I could transfer them all. Offload all the bodies, and then we're pretty much done with this area, so we head back up. We want to go and try and check the other little outposts that are around this one up on the hill to our left and one up on the hill to our right. Now the one up on the hill to our right would have been very difficult to land in this ship, so we decided to go to the one on the left first. Very laggy at the moment, as you can see here. Look at this jerking. When you're low to the ground, in most ships, it's not so bad with smaller ones, I feel, but in the big ships, it just becomes really bad. The lag is weird. Yeah, they need to sort that out, because obviously when you're close to the ground, the last thing you want is to be jerking, lagging, rubber banding, whatever, and you end up smashing into the floor. So we set the ship down again here, and there's a little tiny outpost next to us. I mean, that's the size of most of the normal outposts, I think, and just look at the size of the Reclaimer. It's absolutely insane. This was actually our very first trip out in the Reclaimer. This is what I did before anything else. The videos are in reverse, but I didn't want to put this as #1 thing with the Reclaimer, but this is epic. Just look at the size of the ship underneath and everything. Anyway, so here we put the lift down, and every time I walked off the lift, I felt like I was in the ground, and I couldn't like get back up onto the surface level. So I decided to abandon it in the end, because I didn't want to get stuck in the floor. I'd got a load of cool helmets, and I basically wanted to get them back and store them at my local station, which is obviously Seraphim. And I just didn't want to risk not being able to get back in my ship or falling through the floor or anything like that. So we launch off with the Reclaimer. As you can see right now, it goes smooth as anything, and before that, lower to the ground, it's just jerky, jerky, jerky. Anyway, so there's the carved out landscape that the outpost is in. And it's just a nice, easy one to find. You head to Kudra Ore, 0.5 degrees, 28 kilometers, dead easy. And you can grab yourself some cool looking stuff. Got a big collection of helmets now. I never really wear them, but it would be cool to sort of be able to sort of match them up with different gear sets. I have seen a couple where people have gone around the verse and collected some really cool sets, but I've just not run into like matching sets yet, which is quite annoying. Anyway, so that was that really. So now I think we were just looking for the bed on the Reclaimer, and yeah, we were just going to log him out here. We were up in space, log out on the Reclaimer. When we next come in, we'll be in the ship ready to do whatever we want to do. So I hope you enjoyed that anyway, guys. It was just a little trip, one of my favourite things to do, just cruising around in the verse, stopping at random outposts and seeing what loot you can get. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, please subscribe, and until the next one, take it easy.